Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm going to do a quick review of my Casio Mudmaster. And some of you are probably thinking, I thought you were a vintage watch guy, and for the most part that's true, but everybody who collects vintage watches has to face the reality that they're delicate and hard to replace. So you have to go out and buy a modern watch at some point, and I thought, what better than a Casio Mudmaster? And this thing is just packed with features. Has a compass, an altimeter, a barometer, a thermometer, a chronograph, 5 alarms in case 4 isn't enough for you, and a GMT world time function. And the way that works is kind of cool in that the display right now, the digital display, is showing you the day of the week and the date. But if I, up here on the left side, if I push that, it's barometric pressure. It'll show you the digital time. So the way the GMT works is you can show one time zone down here in the digital portion, and the hands will show the second time zone, which I don't know, I like that functionality. Another function that's very useful when you're living down here in Texas at this time of year is the barometric pressure plot. So as you can see, it gives you more than just the instantaneous reading. Rather, on the left side it shows you a plot of the barometric pressure, and each of those dots represents 2 hours, and it's very accurate. Whenever that pressure plot takes a nosedive and there's an alarm that'll go off, when it does take a nosedive, you know a thunderstorm's headed your way. And I would say it probably gives you around 10 to 15 minutes of warning before the storm actually gets to you. So it should be enough time to get indoors or stop doing whatever you're doing. Very useful function if you live in places like this where the weather changes rapidly. One of the cool features I haven't used a whole lot of, I have to cycle through all these different modes, which I'm not going to go through in a lot of detail just because of time. So up here it's one of the quick access features, I'll call it. If you press up here in the top right, you go to the compass mode. And right now the second hand is pointing north, which I just find that really fascinating. I have no idea how the hell this thing works, but certainly seems very accurate because they give you not only the azimuth, telling you northeast, south, or whatever, but it also gives you the heading out to degrees. So I think you could actually use this to navigate places if you know how to do so. I've never done it, but it certainly seems capable. For you survivalists out here, this watch is pretty much invincible. I mean, I'm not going to be doing this with any of my other vintage pieces, but I've worked on the car, I've gone bicycling, hiking, swimming, done all kinds of things with this, and it just does not care. On top of that, you get the tough solar, which means it's pretty much a perpetual motion machine. You don't have to replace batteries. I think that the capacitor or battery it has internally lasts like 10 years. It's 200-meter water resistant, has a sapphire crystal, which is pretty cool feature considering the bezel is so thick I don't think you'll ever be able to get to it to scratch it, but it's nice to know it's there. And the design wise, it is a bit clunky. Certainly it's a thick watch, but it's not as heavy as you would think just because of it being a plastic composite case, I'll call it. And the design, I know a lot of people say it's on the tacky side. I actually like it. I think it looks really sporty, and I think it's supposed to look like an altimeter that's fastened into the dashboard of like an airplane. That's what these kind of fasteners are supposed to look like. But overall, I think it's a great watch, certainly a tough watch. Has more functions than you'll ever need, and a bit on the expensive side. If you can afford it, I'd say run out and buy one.